before we go to front. Here's Gio. Give her a minute to come in.
Hey. Can you hear me?
Gio, my faithful member.
Hey.
Hey, how you feeling?
Well, not 100%, but I'm here.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if this is flu A, B, or element of P. But
Yeah, well, I was hearing, you might have seen I shared a live video last night of Bishop Barber speaking at Abyssinian, and the pastor there was talking about how prevalent RSV is right now, in addition to a new strain of COVID, you know. So it's never ending stuff. Oh, well, I hope you feel better soon.
thank you. I accept all that positive energy because I need it.
Uh, yeah,
Mm.
wow. And so this is our first night back after our holiday break.
Yeah.
So you see, I just got the link posted today.
And that's perfectly fine. You got it
Yeah,
posted.
I'm developing a little skill at this last minute, last minute reading and whatnot. But I feel a little bit more prepared than I have maybe for the last couple of meetings.
Okay. That's fine.
Nita is here. Oh,
Okay.
wow. The gang's all here.
Yay.
Yay. Uh, I don't know about, I guess we have lost Leonie.
Oh,
Yeah. I hope she's all right.
yeah, me too. They've had bad weather, and I'm not sure exactly what her location is anymore, but the weather's been pretty bad up that way.
I believe she's on the West Coast of
Yeah.
Canada.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Venita.
How are you, Gio?
I'm hanging in there. How are
Good.
you?
I'm very well. I may have to skip out a little early tonight because I have a meeting. However, I'm fantastic. Are you feeling better?
Oh, well, not 100%, but I made it. I made it here.
As long as you made it, that's good enough. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Are you feeling better, my long lost best friend?
No, I'm still dying, but I'll make it. Don't worry about it. You ain't called me in days. Don't worry about it.
No, last time we talked, you rushed off the phone and said, I'm going to call you back. I've been waiting on you to call me back for days.
Well, when I did call, I might have checked in there, but you wouldn't know.
My
Don't worry
goodness.
about it.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
that's right. She, you know why she's confident, Gio? Because we have a pact that if one of us decide to die, we have to let the other one know first. Because we are going to do the Thelma and Louise. Oh, don't worry, Gio. You coming with us?
Oh, I am.
Oh yeah. No, because we can't leave nobody back here.
Okay.
Well,
No.
I've been dealing with stomach aches that are my doctor suspects are acid reflux.
Oh.
And he gave me some medicine and I've been pretty much feeling good the last couple of weeks. But today it kind of started up again. So I don't know, just another fun journey for me to go on. Oh man. Well, we might as well get started since Venita says she's got to leave early.
Is Leonie coming tonight? Did I hear?
No, I said I think we've lost Leonie.
Oh, was she here?
And probably somebody should check on her.
Lost? What you mean, lost tonight or?
No, well, you haven't been here in a while, but neither has Leonie. But we knew why you weren't here. We don't know why Leonie's not here.
Oh.
So, I mean, I guess when you like if you get behind on a couple of chapters, it starts to feel daunting to try to catch up, so. Anyway, I am Michelle Odom in Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to Reading for Change, a collective journey, where we are currently reading, where's the thingy thing? What's it called? Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. And I guess we're about midway through the book now. Tonight is the start of part 3 out of 4 parts. So we're getting on down the road with this one. And Venita, I told Gio, this is quite possibly going to be my last book, at least in this format. Maybe we'll do like a private group kind of thing. But it's gotten harder and harder and harder for me to pull myself together to do the technical pieces of setting up the meetings. So we'll see. But this is actually 10 years in June. It will be 10 years that the three of us have been doing book group in the rather intense way that we do it. So, we're all a decade older.
Wow. Gee, thanks, Michelle. I hadn't noticed.
Quite as spry as I used to be.
That's a lot of books.
That's a lot of books. Yeah, a lot of conversations, a lot of wonderful conversations. And I'm so proud of the work that we've done. I just wish I could be a fly on the wall when that scholar of the future comes across our work as they're rebuilding the world after it's been destroyed by nuclear explosion, and asking themselves, did anybody care about what was going on in the world before this happened? And then they'll say, look at those 3 Black women. they wanted to talk about something other than Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce.
But what did you just say?
I don't know. Who are you?
Venita Walker, joining you from Cromwell Snowy, 17-degree Connecticut.
Ooh,
did you say snowy?
Snowy, icy, 17 degrees.
17 degrees?
wow.
I live in the north. I live in New England.
Yes, you do.
It's further up.
Well, I live next door to you. I don't know what the temperature is. I saw something 20 something on the TV this morning, and all I knew was I wasn't going out there. So,
Well,
and we
it's
do
warmer.
have snow.
It's warmer in the southern part of Connecticut. I live, in the northern part of Connecticut. So if you're down by the Stamford area, Fairfield County, it's always going to be warmer. You get more of that New York weather. But I live closer, maybe about 35 minutes outside of Massachusetts. So I'm further up. So, Stanford, it could be 38. And here it's 21.
Wow.
All of that spells cold.
Yeah, but we need it because it's been really weird. I mean, it's just not, everything is pretty off. Nature's off, everything's off, because we really supposed to have snow here from the end of October, beginning of November. We should have tons of it until the end of March, and we have not had that for years. And nature is suffering for it. People are suffering for it. No, farmers are suffering. I mean, it's just not like it's a good thing. So people should not be rejoicing about warm weather in cold areas, because it's not a good thing. It's caused all kinds of, and food is high enough here. It's because of the weather. But anyways, so much for that.
And Gio?
Yeah. And I'm Georgette Moses from Columbia, South Carolina, coming in at a balmy 44 degrees.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could send it to you. Well, okay, well, maybe not. But then look at your face. But we're going down to 21, okay? So don't rejoice too much.
It's cold for South Carolina.
Yes. It's
That's
crazy.
very cold.
It's crazy.
Can I come visit you soon? Can I come visit you? Because it's a couple of restaurants I heard about down there. Well, they got a lot of restaurants, but they got some good. They have some good restaurants down there in South Carolina. I've been watching, the Food Network, and they have some really good restaurants.
Yes, they
I gotta come
do.
down.
If you like shrimp and grits, they have a fantastic restaurant down in Charleston.
Oh, I love shrimp. I like shrimp and grits, especially Southern. When we don't make them really nice up here. You have to have them down south in order to get the real shrimp and grits. Yeah. But I love shrimp and grits.
Okay, you let me know. Come on through. I'll take you.
All right. So let me share the little bit of a summary that I have. Let's see. And that's the other thing. My eyesight is just really not good. I'll read. This week's discussion, you can see it? This week's discussions are inspired by chapters 9 and 10, The Arrow of History and The Scent of Money. Tonight's discussion begins our journey into part 3 of Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. Part 3 is the Unification of Humankind. Chapter 9, The Arrow of History, provides an overview of how cultures are comprised of artificial instincts that are in constant flux, leading humanity toward greater unity. Modern scholars believe contradictions within cultures, such as that between freedom and equality, fuel change. The baked in cognitive dissonance of culture is a vital asset, asserts the author. Viewing history from the perspective of millennia, we are able to discern a pattern of history moving inexorably toward unity. From a planet of many isolated worlds, by 1450 AD, Earth had become home to a single mega world of Afro-Asia. This single global culture is not homogeneous, certainly, but bound instead by the same language of nation states, capitalist economies, international rights, and nuclear physics. Money, empires, and universal religions have effectively blunted our more natural tendency toward us versus them thinking. Chapter 10, The Scent of Money, reviews how specialization within towns and cities sparked the need for a universal form of exchange, money. Ideal types of money allow people to convert, store, and transport wealth. Money was key in developing complex commercial networks and markets. Money, says author Yuval Noah Harari, is a psychological construct that works by converting matter into mind. It is the most universal and most efficient system of mutual trust ever devised, he wrote. The chapter offers a brief history on the development of money, beginning with Sumerian barley in 3000 BC, and concludes the appearance of a single transnational and transcultural monetary zone laid the foundation for the unification of Afro-Asia and eventually of the entire globe into a single economic and political sphere. And with that, let's get it on.
Hey.
Anybody want to start? Let's see. I think I might have a question to start us.
Okay.
Below belt and parts below IE. What am I looking at? Well, I'm on the first page of chapter 9. Where he's talking about you know how cultures have this tension always, and uh and so my question was, what changes do you foresee or hope for in the African American culture?
Hmm. Wow. Well, I was listening to Roland Martin. I guess it was a video, a podcast from uh, 2 days ago, but he was speaking on the power of African American dollars when unified, basically, and how where what the things that we look at make money for a lot of other people, and we're very happy to see tokens of us someplace or shows, that whet our appetite in a low information sort of way. But these same people who control these platforms are using those dollars we're giving them, of course, through advertisers, right?
Mm-hmm.
To fund initiatives that are for the detriment of our culture. as well as other Americans, but they don't see it that way. So, um, my hope, not sure if it'll ever happen, is that we have that, I don't know, what is it? What is the 100th monkey syndrome? We wake up and everybody at the same, how many times do we need to be told that we're sitting on trillions of dollars of potential wealth, but we can't collectively use it to better the things that we say we need, right? The things that we say we want. So we continue to be divided uh, on these issues, and these two chapters kind of of really, the cognitive dissonance, of the globe, as well as the African American culture, right? And just pick any one of them, anywhere. It is this thing, this cognitive dissonance that we can't seem to overcome. What would happen if we could overcome? What does it take to overcome, the holding of two competing ideas that seem that they should cancel each other out, but they don't? What's keeping them going? We know what's good for us, and yet we stay, in this frozen in time, you know. So that's what
Well,
makes me
Harari
think.
describes the tension as a vital asset, in human populations, because it does fuel change. So I'm not sure that getting rid of the tension would necessarily be um, a, a good thing. I know I've shared several times my image of the analogy of what my teacher used to always say: where you stand depends upon where you sit. And that would always give me the image of a baseball field, where the umpire has a particular view, people sitting on the left have a certain view, on the right have a different view, and nobody is really seeing the whole picture. But um, the truth is really a combination of what happened during the play from all those different perspectives. Um, and so it's hard to bring all of that together. Um, so I take his point that that you have to look from the perspective of millennia to really see the direction that we're moving in. And I guess that's why I'm kind of always talking about a 500-year plan, because if we're looking for the kind of unity that you're talking about, Geo, among how African Americans view our economic power, which is certainly an excellent idea. It's been out there for a long time. And as you said, people keep telling us over and over and over again what power we potentially have. But I don't think we're going to see the outcome that you're looking for in any of our lifetime, you know, and probably not our children's lifetime. And you know, hopefully maybe by our grandchildren or our great grandchildren, they will start to realize that you know, we're doing something wrong here. Um, that's actually hurting us, you know, and maybe we should, you know, as another one of my teachers used to say, open another window. You know,
Yeah.
try to do something different. Um, so, but yeah, economic power is would definitely is definitely, you know, I think a wonderful hope. Venita, anything? The question is, what changes do you foresee or hope for in African American culture?
Well, on a positive note, and I know you're not used to that because I'm usually the ultimate.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to play the heavy,
girl. And that's what I'm saying. Brace yourself, Gio.
Okay, okay.
On a positive note, I believe that there is going to be a change. I listen to young people a lot. They are looking at again, you said it depends on how you see the world from where you sit. And too many of them in the Black culture now sitting on the other side. And they've had the opportunity to look at all that stuff in front of them. And they are changing. They're changing the way they think, the way they do things. They're looking more at entrepreneurship. They're looking more at building. They're actually going back. History repeats itself. Men that I talk to in their 20s and 30s, they ain't about stuff anymore. They're about building generational wealth, economic power. So they're trained of thought. It's like the 80-something group that we were in. That stuff is out the window. They seen where that took us. It was all temporary.
Are you talking about our grandchildren?
I'm talking about even our children. Clint's 36 years old. I don't have to wait for the grandkids. That 20-something, 30-something group, and even some of that 40-something group that a lot of people in our group aren't listening to, which is why one of the reasons why we have some problems that we have, because we're not listening to their calls, not just to action, but to just listen. If you listen to them, no, they're over it. You know, again, you know, I always feel that nothing happens until, you know, people are put in extreme situations. And of course, in the 80s, in our group, life was good, 90. Economically, for individuals and for a lot of individuals. But that tide has turned. It's not good for a lot of individuals. It's not good for most that I talk to. So they have a different train of thought. Even when it comes to traveling, they're looking to go, you know, to islands and buy a bunch of trinkets. They're looking for an experience. For the little money they have, they got to spread it around if they got any. They use it very wisely. They want memories. They want experiences. In our grades group, you know, the islands were que sera society. You buy your little trinkets. The island people were happy. People in other countries. That's all changed. So I believe that's going to be happening very shortly. So I don't think it's gonna be, if I live to the next 20 years, which is a long time. My people live for a long time. So chances are I might be here. I'm gonna see it in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? And I hope I can be some part of it. If I got a breath in my body, if I still have my faculties, you know, if I can't do anything but sit there and nod, you know, I just want to be able to see that change. But no, I do think a change is coming. Because all change comes, I found in my lifetime, when things are extreme. And you have to have enough people that are in that extreme situation to say, okay, enough is enough. So then it doesn't become them versus us like it was during the 80s. You know, you had some was riding high, and so they didn't care about who wasn't, and everybody got a little taste of, you know, freedom and economic security, which mind you was temporary for a while. So no, I'm very positive about that. That this is going to happen very soon, sooner we think. Is that
But
positive?
It's hard. It's
that's
hard
very
for me to
positive.
it's hard for me to even fake the funk trying to play the heavy with that all that positivity.
And you know, and I guess I really wasn't, you know, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. And I'm being real about this. I'm gonna go on what I see, what I experience when I talk to younger people, again, from, you know, 20 to 40, and some even older, what they're feeling at this point, especially that 20-something, that 30-something group. They have never got a chance to launch. Never got a chance to find a job in their career choice. You know, whether their career was being a rocket scientist, whether his career was being a janitor in the school system. They have not found, you know, they haven't gotten that chance. And even some in the 40s, they're still reeling from 2008. You know, their lives are put off. They're not having children or getting married, not because they don't want to, because they're smart enough to know that from a loaf of bread costing $6, and I can't keep a steady job, although I'm equipped to do that, that I can't have any children. You know, and I'm listening to that, you know, I hear from my own son. You know, he said, Mom, I'm getting old, I'm 36 years old. You know what I mean? But I can't have a family till I feel secure enough to be able to do that. You know, so it's a lot going on. And I just think, and they're over it. And I hear that from Black folk, white, young people, I don't care who they are. They're like, look, this is not working for us. It only worked temporary for our families. It was temporary, and we would have known it was temporary unless we went through it. And then suddenly the bottom fell out, and you know, the 80s and 90s were over. But yeah, I'm positive. I really feel good about that. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen very soon, and not just in this country. I think you're going to see an uprising all around the world because Japan, China, they have so many people with skills and educations, millions that can't find a job. Mm-hmm. You know, so or can't. It's not so much this job that they're even looking for today. They're really looking for something they want to do. It's a little different now too. They're not just going out there to retire from the state after being there 40 years. They ain't even trying to do all that. They're really trying to get into something that they really enjoy, something they really want to do, where their talents are, and it's going to change. It's going to change real quick. And if Donald Trump get elected in November,
Here we go, Gio.
Here comes the bad news.
No, it's still good news. It's still good news. It's still good. It's still good news.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm feeling positive. So no, even if he gets elected in November, and of course I wouldn't put that past him, as I told Michelle when he got elected last time, that was going to happen. It's going to come sooner than you think. Much sooner than you think. Because you think for a minute that 20-something starving, 30-something, 40-something group's going to sit back, you're mistaken. They've suffered long enough, and it's enough of them that suffered that it's going to be very different this time. Very different, because they're not having it.
All right. Well, on that positive note, what else? What else? What else struck you about this chapter?
Where are we? There's something else in here.
Oh, when he mentioned the spy satellite, and in order to see the world growing towards unity, it takes millennia to see. I'm like, okay, what kind of unity? We still got a whole lot of more millennia to go, because I don't see it.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, when you think about money only being on the scene now about 3000 BC, which is about 5,000 years ago. And you look at the impact that how money has changed human culture. But then think about the thousands, the millennia before 3000 BC, and writing and money are about neck and neck on the time scale of development. They're both about 5,000 years old. And so think of all the books, think of how writing has changed culture. But there were tens of thousands of years of human development where there was no writing, there was no money, and it took all of those tens of thousands of years to get to the point, where the need for money evolved. So it's it's daunting, and it's frustrating, and a lot of not so positive things to think of the pace of change. On the other hand, where are we going?
Nowhere fast.
Well, what is the rush from a human development perspective? There's nothing else. There's no other major change in human development that has happened quickly. I mean, that's just not how it's how it's done. And if there's any rush, to me, it would be something like, well, we're on the verge of killing all life, blowing up the planet. So, we might want to figure out some things before we do all of that. And and there's a lot of suffering that it would be nice to alleviate for people, but that suffering, I think is something that is really baked into human existence. Like those videos I showed you, Gio, of the humans and the fighting with the animals. That was some harsh stuff going on.
I was like, this is a lot.
Open up with a leopard ripping the throat out of I don't know what.
Yes. And so, if you really think about any stage in human development, there's always been something that's like extremely hard. They may not have all had slavery, but fight a tiger.
I mean, I feel that way when I go to Stop and Shop. You already know that.
Oh, Venita, I had a concern the other day because I was at Home Depot and I was walking past I was inside the store, and I was walking past the entrance, and I saw these three. They look young by their physiques. Three young Black men dressed all in black, and they had like a turtleneck pulled up to their nose. And they were stepping real hard and real fast. And my friend tells me I'm being racist, but they look like criminals. And they all had these black garbage bags swinging off at the back of their shoulders that looked like they had stopping them, right? So I stopped in my tracks because I didn't want them to, run me over. Yeah. So they head to out, they go out the entrance to the store. Mm-hmm. And as they get to the doorway, there are some guards outside that are there coming to meet them, and then some guards on the inside that are running after them. And I'm like, oh God, I'm about to be caught up in a shootout.
Not at Home Depot.
And at Home Depot. And what one of the guards threw a punch, and then there's a big old brawl going on.
Really?
Well, I hope they didn't get fired, because I thought the policy of these stores was to let it go.
You don't have a gun, you gotta let it go.
I do think they are. I walked away before it was all over, but it looked like the young boys did get away. Okay. But Venita and I talk all the time about, being out in one of these big box stores or any place really. And having some crazy, and my friend that said I was being racist, I said, well, I got my concerns about being around white folks too. Oh, because when they start talking about taking their country back, well, no, I do not feel safe.
Michelle, valid concerns, yes.
Black folks just want to rob some stuff, and they ain't trying to have a mass shootout.
No, that's not fair to say. You might be a little racist because it seems like you're profiling these Black folks. Let me tell you something. The demographics in my town, it was a little small farm town. That's why we built our home here. And of course, everything is changing, and a lot of Asians are coming, and all kinds of folks, from all over the world, Ukrainians. I mean, I was in the store one day, and these was white boys. I was clutching my purse. Girl, so no talk about being racist, had nothing to do it. These were some thug-looking white boys. They was just coming off their bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on top of that, and of course, tattoos have been around for a long time. I mean, I was, a teenager in the 70s, and I was around a lot of white people. I always had tattoos. Always. This ain't nothing new. And it's not even nothing new as far as being extreme. They've always had them. They've always been extreme. I don't know what, it depends on where you were at, but where I was at, and I saw it all the time. But they had, the tattoos going up the neck, not the colorful, beautiful ones, but the green ink up the neck, on the face, big rings in their ear. And they were standing around, and they were big. It was like two of them, and they were standing by me near the meat counter. I was like, well, okay, let me see here.
He's on down the road.
Let me see here. You have to be smart. She's not the brawn anymore, because I'm not 25, 35, 45, and even 55. Like, I can run fast. I'm a little girl. Okay. I was like, all right, the lupus done got me today. I'm not going to be able to run. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to be able to fight. And I don't have my Smith & Wesson with me. Mm-hmm. So what should I be doing at this point? See, I always think logical.
Yes.
You should be saying to yourself, it only took about 20 seconds for me to formulate a plan. Then do you really need this ground veal? No, you don't. No, you don't.
Not from this store.
and I'm a regular store, but it's talking about intimidating. And even when they were talking, it was that white boy hood talk. Okay, yeah. No different. It's no different, except they were white boys with the hood talk and the hood walk and the hood look. And I'm here and them both over right there. And I'm like, and I'm clutching my purse. I would have been clutching my purse if I had someone. And I was equally as terrified. No. I was equally as terrified as if there were, two Black men that would make me feel insecure. Actually, I would have been less terrified, to be honest with you. I think I'd have been, I would have Probably wouldn't have been terrified.
I mean,
I have been uneasy.
the thing with me wouldn't be the black men doing the shooting, but it would be if the guards or the police
That's the problem. Yeah,
shooting at them.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's what I can understand. That's how I feel in the store. When I see trouble, I'm going. I don't want to be a victim of circumstance. I've been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But when you're standing by two big white boys standing there looking like they can just eat a human, I was like, we don't need, Carlton ain't getting this deal today. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, no. He's going back to that vegetarian diet tonight. Okay. So yeah, said that to say that it's not about, because they were black. I would actually wouldn't felt as terrified if they were black. I'd have been uneasy, maybe, but I wouldn't have felt actually terrified. I was like terrified. All the stimuli we have going on, all the ugly going on around us. They sit down and see a black little petite little tender morsel like me, and they may want to take their anger out on me. That was my concern. It wasn't robbing the store. It wasn't like doing it. It was like, we're in an angry environment. And I don't want to be a victim of circumstances because you may be angry and you look like you're angry and you take it out on me. Because I can't take that kind of pressure. So that was my feelings. So no, I don't think you're being racist. I think you got to be careful and aware of what's going on around you. And they happen to be black guys and these happen to be white guys. But anybody today.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about race, it's about protecting yourself because we do know there's some extra going on out there. A lot of extra.
And as you're talking, it's just occurring to me, this is another aspect of unity. that the prejudice that we might feel toward thug-like personalities has tended to be directed more toward black men in particular. But as the world unifies, we got cause to be scared of everybody.
We do. I guess that's what I'm saying. We do, but I still feel as though I might have been very uncomfortable if they were black men, opposed to the time we're living in, and these were white men. I was past uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so you want to call me a racist?
Right.
Then I'll wear that badge proudly, whatever you want to call me. But then, so in black people, years ago, when we grew up in the city and stuff like, you go to South Philly, West Philly, North Philly, you go to Newark, anywhere. There's black people. You should know that, Michelle, because I'm surprised if you were scared that you wouldn't be there, because you could walk up in a place where no man dare to go at nighttime, and don't nobody bother you. You don't feel insecure. That's the feeling I get.
And I'm not generally scared. I will walk through a group of black men standing on the street. I walk right through the middle of them with no fear, no concern, and never had a problem. But it was the whole presentation of these guys. I told you they were stepping hard, like, just shy of running. There ain't no reason to be moving that fast through Home Depot.
Well, the way they were dressed, they got bags and everything. You just protect yourself. There was actual danger. There was danger. Casual walk down the street in a minority area. This was, you could see danger. It could have been anybody. It would have been danger. There were Asians.
It was a Home Depot in a predominantly black neighborhood. But if they had been white guys moving that way, I'd have felt the same kind of
that's what I'm trying to say. It'd have been the
concern.
Same. Get out the way. Don't want to be a victim. It may not hurt you, but just being there, like I said, because you can get killed. It happens every day. Every day. But we're going to be more positive this evening. Let's talk about
let's go back. Let's go back to the chapter. One of my questions is, what are some key contradictions in American culture today? I think the thing over abortion rights is one. There seem to be very strong beliefs on both sides of the issue. And it's an unresolved issue. I mean, we thought it was resolved. I mean, that's the thing. We thought it was resolved, with Roe. We thought voting rights were resolved, but we're living through the era of learning that which is resolved can be unresolved. you know so it's not really resolved. And so, as Harari is talking about in this chapter, that some of these contradictions go on for thousands of years without ever really being worked out. And abortion seems like it's one that could be that way, just go on for thousands of years without getting settled, because apparently there are some women that in addition, of course, to men, but some women who don't really believe that my body, my choice.
Well, I believe it goes back to religion, which I find the root of much evil is through religion, period, which is control. So I didn't expect anything to be permanent, because it was now in the law, that women can have abortions and take control of their bodies. I never thought anything would be permanent. Never got that comfortable with it, because if you've been in this country long enough, change is inevitable. And slavery didn't end because they wanted it to. Contrary to Mr. whatever her name is, Republican stupid, the Civil War was not to decide what people could do and what they couldn't do. The Civil War is about slavery. So no, we're living in a country where religion is controlled. Between that and capitalism, which all plays into religion, is control. So to expect things not to change, I don't know. That's a problem. That's, again, getting too comfortable. Getting too comfortable. I mean, Donald Trump, and I hate to mention his name, but, we have to.
Well, you can't mention it.
Well, see, I don't have a problem with it. There may be some people that we know that may have a problem with that name, but I actually don't. Because I have to be aware of what's going on around me at all times. And he is a threat to me as he's out there on the stump in Iowa. He was just saying, we got to take our country back. He was pandering to all the evangelists, all the Pope people out there with no teeth, and I don't know what their connection was. But yes. Yes. So I mean, yeah, it's scary, and he's got them riled up, and he's going to be their great white hope, and he is. So it's going to be some changes. There's going to be a lot of. You think it's unsettling now? I don't think we've seen anything yet. So if you couldn't deal with what's been going on around you in the past so many years, Biden gave 2 minutes of reprieve, then you're not going to be able to deal with this at all. Just not going to be able to deal with it. So
okay. What other contradictions do you see in current American culture?
Gay rights. Yeah.
Yeah, another one that seemed to be pretty much resolved. We knew everybody wasn't for it, but legally, it looked like things were moving toward, more rights.
Yeah, it seemed that way. And it's going to go back and forth. It comes back to that thing we call money. Who has the economic power? And they have a lot of power. A lot. More than people think they might, but they have a lot of economic power. So much so that the Pope decided back a month or so ago that he was now going to bless or accept gay folk. Do you know why? Well, from my understanding, and I don't know the Bible probably as well as you do, or some other people may know it, but I don't think in the Bible it says anything about condemning gay people in the Bible. But then again, I don't know because that's changed too. First Testament, Old Testament, New Testament, Testament number 25, when everybody had a glass of wine. I don't know. But the Pope said, well, I think maybe we rethink that. When that kitty gets a little light, we rethink a lot of stuff, don't we? Yeah, that goes back to that dollar. Nothing has changed. If this is the way you felt before, why suddenly has anything changed? It's because that purse got a little light. No other reason. It's not coming, it never came from the Bible anyway, so it's not coming from the Bible, it's not coming from them, it's not coming from religious belief, it's coming from the religion of money. Because a lot of folks are leaving the church, particularly young people, and I've talked to some of them. Don't come to with religion. They don't want to hear nothing about all that. Don't put your beliefs on them. They don't want to do it. So that's one of them. That was a positive note. Oh, I got to say something positive after that. But I still think, I believe.
No. Just be you. Don't get us confused.
I'm trying to be a positive person in 2024 for a minute. Thank you all for humoring me.
You were doing so well. You were doing so well.
I was on a roll until she brought that question up. And then that was it.
Geo, contradictions?
Oh my. I was looking at something in the text and then I lost it. And it had to do with, oh my goodness. I lost it. I lost it. Something about deafness. Wait. Oh, the proverbial dialogue of the deaf. Deaf being that's a real clash of civilizations. So, and he says nobody can grasp what the other is saying. And I think that is the even though we have monetary systems, um political systems and religious systems that are supposedly, you know, keeping us quote unquote unified, if we use that term very, very, very loosely, they're also contributing to the contradictions and the reversals of things that we thought, had been codified, had been settled. Okay, we can all live kumbaya, everybody go to church, you can go, you can come, you can get married, you can have your abortion or not, you can teach your child at home or not.
Right.
We can vote or not. And it's all an illusion because it's based on an illusion. Much like he says our monetary system is, but it's an agreed upon,
Yes.
a community illusion. So as long as we believe in these illusions to keep us together, instead of just, I don't know, simple stuff like human rights, right? Uh, there are always going to be contradictions and reversals because depending on who's in power, they're going to use different aspects of each of these three this trinity, this holy trinity, to get what they want and push whatever their global vision is at the time. Because that's how we can, we can listen to people who are getting ready to serve time in jail for January 6th still claiming, no, no, it wasn't Trump. He didn't dupe me. I've been seeing this for a long time. But she's going to jail and leaving her 8 children and 33 grandchildren. I'm like, lady, there's the what is it? I think this is psychological. We have collectively pulled ourselves into a physical, spiritual, and mental position that is going to really take something extreme, like Venita said, to unacid. Oh, okay. Because we can't go on. What kind of unity is it going to be, whatever, how many millennia it might take for this idea of unity? Will it be under the thumb of artificial intelligence? Tell us, no human, put that square peg in that round hole before we shock you. Okay. Or
I hate to say it, but that's going to be part of it. For sure.
Y'all excuse me for a minute. I'm trying to find the mute button. I can't.
I think you found it.
Yeah, I believe that artificial intelligence are going to play a big role in what the future looks like. I'm just one of those kind of people that believe that anything is possible. Now, some folks say, you're going off the edge. I believe in leprechauns and all that stuff. It could happen. Science fiction, it all could happen. I mean, yeah, why not? Give me a reason why it's not true.
Right. And
why it can't be true. So, yeah. And they're working hard towards that. The elites, those trillionaires, are working hard to put that in place.
Yes.
Now, because of the greed, what does money do? Here comes the greed. Here comes after that the stealing. You name it. That is their religion.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's Trump's religion. That's his religion. The dollar bill. Now he's saying for those that are on trial, if you reelect me, if I get elected again, and it's so sad how you play on the mentally unstable or the weak, then I will make sure I pardon you. So he's getting them more going. But these, I'm just truly, and I'm not really amazed because most people want to be led. That's what I found in my lifetime. Most people are not leaders, don't have minds of their own. It just takes so much work for most people to have a mind of their own, to have thoughts of their own, to be able to resist certain things. So most people, you can just lead them right to hell. So
well,
yeah.
but that's why I think with the MAGA narrative is important, and we can't really ignore it because all of this is a story, and that's what I love about Harari, that he makes that also clear that we're all just telling ourselves stories, but we do have some power over the stories that we tell ourselves, and and what we choose to believe and to transmit to the next generation. And so I mean, the watching the MAGA thing in real time is instructive in a sense, like if you think about it, January 6th, which I'm retired. I was home. I saw the whole thing on TV. Couldn't take my eyes off it. I know what I saw. you know, it was a violent, nasty, mess going on. But within hours, the spin doctors were telling us, oh, we're just some good old boys trying to tour the Capitol on vacation. What y'all talking about, Ryan? No. And once they developed that script, they have been on it like white on rice. And so I guess if you're weak-minded, like Venita is talking about, then you don't know what to believe. But I know what I saw with my own eyes, So I don't care what story you tell me. But I guess for maybe people that didn't really see it, or for people that just don't want to believe what they saw, then if you keep telling them, that was just tourism, you can start to believe it. And so I say it's instructive because I think that it would be helpful for freedom and equality. And I know, they're contradictions, but freedom loving, equality loving, peace loving, progress loving people to learn how to message like that, to reinforce over and over and over again, and I guess it's got to be 140 characters, and we just all learn it and just say it every day to our children. 140 characters.
Well, you really have to do that. You have no choice. They're taking away our children's identity. They're taking the books out of the school system. They don't want to talk about their blackness, their nothingness, other than white America.
Right.
Okay. So that they're, this is what's happening is not happening by chance. It's not an anomaly.
Right.
No, it's carefully planned.
Yes.
Okay. So unless it's up to the parents and to instead of being us and them among the cultures, because it still does exist, because you still have those folks that have more than others. And it's too many to have more than others that's out there in the front. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you have to do that. Because they're trying to take away their identity. They're trying to take away their identity so they just think that there's a colorless world and everybody kumbaya. And Black folks still fight for human rights. We didn't got to equal rights yet. I don't know what everybody talking about. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We haven't even got to the equal rights yet, or any rights. We're trying to fight right now, as we always have, to be recognized as humans first.
Yeah.
In a good old boy system, they said the same thing, during the time they're hanging us from the tree. Oh, don't worry about it.
Right.
That's not really a Negro hanging from the tree. Or maybe it is a Negro hanging from the tree, but we were protecting Gloria's chastity, so we didn't have no choice. So that's really a bundle of hay hanging from the tree. And it went on and on and on.
Right.
So I mean, I just, but again, talking to young folks, I don't know what the change is going to be, but they've had it. They're hungry, they're starving, they have no future, not even half a future.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to minimize how difficult change is, but to a certain extent, it really is changing our minds. And so as he talks in here somewhere about it might have been The Invention of Money, where he's talking about it didn't require a whole lot of technology or some grand plan and design. You know, people just had to agree, this is what we're going to do, you know. And so some of the stuff, you know, the unity that we're looking for in the Black community, etc., you know, is within grasp of us just saying to ourselves, this is what we're going to do. You know, Georgette was talking about the economic power. We're going to spend our money with Black businesses. This is what we're going to do. You know,
and Black businesses are going to have to make sure, for the ones that are already existing and for the new ones, that they're offering us within that system what we need.
Yes.
What we need. Because I've seen other folks from other parts of the country, and you can see that right there in Newark or right here in Connecticut, or especially New York. There are pockets where when you go within those pockets, they may be all Polish people or all Latinos, but they have a doctor, they have lawyers, they have everything that you need right in that community.
Orthodox Jews, the Asian communities. New York is nothing but, you know, subcultures.
Let's get back on the way we used to be. Okay. And thank goodness for the Black Panthers. Because I remember, you know, a lot being a little girl of what they did, you know, being able to get inoculated, you know, going to places where you're actually standing in line because no one had insurance then, although people were. No such thing as insurance. Going to Father Divine's, they served breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Black Panthers were there. I was there. You know, we have to go back to that system. And it was very successful. Very successful. That's what nourished us and kept us going. It gave us the healthcare and the library and the reading and everything you needed for us to be able to sustain ourselves and progress. And then suddenly, here come the 80s. Everybody forgot where they were, what time of day it was, you know. It's all about me.
Well, yeah, but I mean, before the 80s, you know, there was the
get back to that
slaughter of the Black Panthers. And,
yes,
you know, and the movement. So I'm just saying that we have to learn from history to be prepared for those kinds of attacks, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, you can walk into a very contained, I was in one the other day in an Orthodox Jewish community just because I missed my bus stop. So I ended up having to get off in their community, and I couldn't even read the signs because, you know, clearly, Dorothy, you have left the Black ghetto. You know?
That was a signal. You should not be here. Don't miss that bus.
But in the Black communities, you know, at least the ones I know of in New York, there's not really a place. I mean, there used to be Harlem, of course, but right now, there's not really a place where, you know, 80, 90, 100% of the businesses are Black-owned businesses, and you know it, you know. We got the Asians and everybody else inside the Black neighborhoods. I didn't see any, you know, Black businesses set up in the Orthodox Jewish community.
No,
you know,
they're not having it.
Or the Asian communities, they ain't having it. You know, but we you know, I guess we feel powerless to stop that kind of thing. But I'm just saying that we have enough experience with all of this stuff, even when we try to do that, when we try to have our own self-contained economic strips, the Black Wall Streets, you know, that just, you know, that gets some white folk a little upset, you know. And we got to deal with that.
We have to deal with a lot of things. And we thought we had to deal with, we'd still be in chains. We would still be slaves. That is something you should expect. Until people know where they're at in this country, that they don't want to see you progress. They want to keep you right there at their thumbs, give you enough food, enough nourishment, keep you going, and keep the capitalist wheel going. So you can already, the point is, do you have on your heart Can you stomach it? That's what we need to think about. Because no, you can expect all this stuff.
Right.
What do you think? Back then, all of a sudden, wouldn't do what? You know the history. You know that, again, we're fighting for human rights. So, again, they don't even really recognize us as humans. It can be expected. It's just who has the heart.
Right. It should be expected at this point, and there should be a plan for, how we protect ourselves, how we defend ourselves.
And some of us are going to perish, and some of us are going to perish.
And our willingness to perish in the process.
That's right. And that's the problem right there. When you get a little taste, and some folks get satisfied with very little, and I've seen it all my life. What was good enough today is not going to be good enough next week. And I knew that 50 years ago.
Yeah.
So, they're getting comfortable with nothing. So we have to be willing to get uncomfortable again. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way that we're going to get things done. We're going to try to reunify when we get uncomfortable. And people are not uncomfortable enough, obviously. I don't know why or what it's going to take, but it's coming. Because they're starving us out really quickly. Minority don't even know we exist anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, well, even what's going on in Gaza, we pretty much are watching genocide in real time. And apparently nobody thinks they can know how to intervene or how to stop it, so we just gonna sit back and watch an entire people slaughtered.
They're not trying to stop it, number one. This fight has been going on forever and a day, and they're not really trying to stop it. None of these.
I know, but my point is that what you allow in one area becomes a lot easier to allow in another area. South Africa has taken on, Israel over this issue, but where's the rest of the world? So if we get comfortable watching the Palestinians get eliminated, when our white folk under the leadership of the Orange Cheeto decide, I think I'm about tired of those Black folk always getting all uppity, trying to build up their own community. Let's finish them off. Who's gonna come to our aid?
Wow, talk about a downer.
Go ahead, but Venita's doing positive tonight, Gio.
Okay.
Again, no one's trying to stop it. No one's trying to stop anything, period. Okay, United States, come on. All the other countries, everybody, it's just all about who's going to flex their muscles and who's going to take what somebody else has. It's just, and the word genocide, that's pretty heavy.
It is.
Yeah, but I wish they would have came to our rescue in the Congo. I wish they come to our rescue in Sierra Leone. I wish they come to our rescue in a lot of places. In the Sudan. Does anybody really want to stop it? No. And then we got everybody else so busy with their own, trying to protect themselves because the hammer's coming down simultaneously. There's so much going on. They suck the life out of you and the energy out of you and every second out of you to be able to think beyond you. That's where we're at. You know what I'm saying?
And reading this chapter and thinking about money being 5,000 years old, 3,000 years BC. And I was thinking about how, it really had only been on the scene about 3,000 years when Jesus had recognized, this is a vile system y'all got going on here. I hope you don't think you're going to heaven. You know. So just the use of money, and that's what he really gets into a bit in the next chapter, is the corrosive impact that money has had and continues to have on values that we used to hold dear, things that we used to consider priceless. Like you said, everybody knew you don't sell your children, right? But it come time to eat, you might have to let one of those little ones go, that's what it's doing to us. And so as I listen to you, Venita, talk about, nobody's trying to stop it. Nobody's trying to help us. It's because we're that far down the road where, I say it all the time. I just don't even, other than when I say it, I don't hear the word integrity anymore.
Well, there is none.
I just don't hear it.
I don't think it's in the dictionary anymore because down there, they burn the books and shit. I don't think it's there anymore. I think the Queen's English has changed.
And the contradictions, how religion has changed. What they said was valuable. Now they've become the prosperity preachers.
What you're talking, it's for the love of money. See, money was fine. We needed some way to exchange goods and after a while, as Harari said, how are you going to compare like bartering a carpenter to some barley? I mean, how much barley can you get to use?
Right.
And it wasn't used.
How you going to carry all that barley around?
And full well that you may have to be on the move and everything you own to be on your back. That's how they did it back then. And and we could do it. Then that's the problem now. We got too much shit. So when all this stuff goes down, and you can't even move around if you want to. That's why I believe in minimalism. Get rid of some stuff. But no, it comes down to exactly that. It's the love of money that's caused the problem, not money itself. And that constant feed and people just wanting more and more and more. And that's where the thing, integrity and all that other stuff that goes out, goes out the door. And the religious thing, well, I'm so over it. I just am over it. There's many, many different things. People believe in rocks and everything, but they're going by the Christian Holy Bible and all that happy crazy. And I'm just over it. They, even the Bible, they did some really crazy, crazy things. This ain't even new.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're selling your children to eat, but it's the same thing many, many, many years ago. If you owe a debt, you don't have to necessarily sell your child, but you'll send your child to that neighbor's house or that person down the road's house, and they're in servitude, depends on how pretty you make it sound, for the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? Mm-hmm. You are bartering your child. Mm-hmm. Barter, aka sell, aka I mean, so why is that? This has been going on since forever.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna have to bring ourselves out of this funk. What you got, Gio? Bring us on home.
Oh boy.
Okay. Early. Come on, Gio. Say something positive. I'm on positive tonight. Positive.
Okay, let me see how I can spin this. Okay. So I was impressed. I didn't know that Cortez told the who was it? The Aztecs?
Mexicans.
He said something about bring me some gold because I have a disease of the heart. Or I'm paraphrasing very loosely there. And so we have this three-legged stool of politics, economics, and religions. that seem to feed the disease of the heart, you know,
Yeah.
and perhaps as we continue to examine how we got here, we'll be able to find a cure for this disease of the heart that's
Yeah.
affecting all these three things.
Yeah.
And we'll have a recliner instead of a three-legged stool.
There you go.
All right.
There you
How
go.
was
Like
that? How was that?
That was excellent. That was excellent. Yeah, I mean that's the issue. You know, the Earth simply cannot go on like this. You
don't
know,
worry about
I mean, it can't. And so, you know, so the conversation has to be about how do we reverse course or change directions from where we are. We are clearly, um, you know, I remember back when I was learning about personality types at a job that I had, where we used the Myers-Briggs MBTI
Yeah.
Mhm.
in a pretty significant way, and and I know there are some people, I'm one of them, that has the characteristic of, you know, it's not where you can see the future, not like a fortune teller or, you know, that kind of thing, but you can look at a set of facts and see the direction that is going. And then there's another personality type that really can't do that. They really can only see, you know, what is right in front of them. But the people that have this capacity to to follow a trajectory really have to come forward and you know, exert some leadership in this moment, because we're heading off a cliff. You know, it's that simple.
It takes courage, and that's something we're lacking. That's the big issue. It takes courage.
Yeah.
And the reason why it takes courage, because there's always that thing in the back of your mind. If I do step forward, 100 of us, and I think there are actually 1,000 of us, and I look back, there's 3 of us, then what? I mean, you know, so it comes back to what are you willing to sacrifice as that individual that thinks that way?
Yeah, but
Because
as you said, in your positive mode, you know,
yeah,
this younger generation, um, you know, is looking to move in a different direction.
yes,
And
they are.
you know, I forget who it was. You know how I share the quotes on Facebook all the time, but I saw something recently, where uh I don't know if it was King or who it was, but somebody that was saying it really does take about 20 years, a generation,
Mm-hmm.
to um to change a culture. And so when you look at that time frame, that's not that long, you know.
Mm-mm.
I can remember 20 years ago. That's not that long. That's time enough to raise a baby, you know. And so to me, that really is where our focus has to be, um, on what we put in the heads of 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 our children.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's a positive note, Michelle.
That is positive. Yeah.
I did
Positive.
it.
Yes.
The children are the future.
Yeah.
And guess what? The
Yours.
children aren't having any children. So they're going to be able to move around real quick and take care of their kids. Okay? That's another thing. Okay? They won't have nothing to toast. So they'll be able to fight to the death and not to worry about it. Why you laugh? It's the truth.
Always practical.
But it's the truth. That's the Aries, you know. It's like, yes.
Yeah. We gotta do something. I mean, the earth and all of her creatures are depending on us to get it right.
Well, depending on them. And again, if I can just get there in the background to get a rah-rah out, I'll be there. But it's going to be up to the young folks. And guess what? They're hungry. They're starving. They have not been able to start their lives. They're living in their parents' basement with all kinds of skills, all kinds of education. Can't even afford to get the.
So they got nothing to lose, and people who got nothing to lose, are pretty dangerous.
And that's where we were at during the 60s, height of civil rights, when we had nothing to lose. You're starving us to death. We can't get a job, can't walk on the same side of the street, can't do anything free. We had nothing to do because we were in prison. Nothing to do. So that's where they're at right now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's going to change because they're going to change it. Anyways, ladies, I am so late to get to this thing I got to do.
Okay.
It's been
okay.
I will see you guys next week.
Okay. Glad you're back.
Yay.
I'm so happy to see you. Georgette, I missed your face.
I missed you too, Venita.
That's just terrible. But we're going to leave it a positive note. I'll see you next week. Same place, same time, okay?
That's right.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Have a good week, ladies.
You as well.
Good night.